Talk to Me Nice podcast. And if you're new here, it's okay because this is our very first episode. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about why I chose to do this podcast. But first and foremost, talking to yourself nice is so important. I am a licensed mental health therapist and I always want to help people and pour into them. So let's talk about season 1. This season is like getting to the core of things. If you ever heard that before, that means we need to start to figure out the pieces of why we do X, Y, and Z. So I am Marquina and I am the host of this podcast, and I just really wanted to pour into other people that may be struggling with mental health. So let's talk about a little bit about me, okay? I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I moved to Mississippi when I was a little bit younger, and I think I had some issues about that. So let's talk about that. My mom left me in Mississippi for a whole year by myself, and as I was growing up, I didn't think about it when I was a kid, but as I got older, like, I was angry for so many years because I was like, how did my mom leave me? Why did she leave me? You know what I'm saying? As a mother, you don't be away from your child for a year. Well, with that being said, she had to take care of some things because she had a business and she had to shut down and so on and so on. But to make a long story short, I felt like abandoned from my mother. And let's just say this, my mom is a darn good mom. She has never mistreated me or anything like that, but it was a time in my life that I felt abandoned from her. And I don't know, like, if other people feel that way or has experienced anything like that. And I was with my mom 24/8. I was with her all the time. So when she sent me to Mississippi, I was like, are you serious? I have to stay here by myself for a year. And so a lot of things happened within that year. For example, I was like, felt misled. Like, I didn't have like that mother guidance that you have, like, especially when you're a teenager. You're just kind of like, well, where's my mom? I need to talk to her about X, Y, and Z. It was just really hard, if you know what I mean. And then when I got in high school, things kind of even out, but I always had like this anger towards her. Like, I would just get real quick temper with her and real snappy. And I realized, like, Marquina, you're not healed. You're not healed from your mom leaving you. I was like, okay, now I wonder why I was used to be so snappy towards her. Like, if she tell me to do anything, I'm like, no. Like, you know, I had like the attitude. It came from unhealed abandonment. That's not the only thing that I have been through in my life. I like to get comfortable. I like to get comfortable. So y'all gonna see me wearing comfy clothes. I am not the girl that have heels on. No. I am like a regular mental health therapist. Let's talk a little bit about my background. So I have my master's in social work. I ended up getting my license last year, and I'm getting my doctorate degree right now. So I'm just all over the place. I have 4 children. I also do a lot of vlogging of my life with my kids because I just feel like I'll always have those memories. And I just like a realistic mom. Like, I'm not a sugarcoat mom. I don't sugarcoat whatsoever. One thing about it, I'm not gonna fake it. You know, like, I hear people say like fake it till you make it. I understand that concept too, but I'm like a realistic person. Like, if I'm not feeling good, I'm not feeling good. Like, if I'm gonna keep pushing through, but I'm not going to like put on a life that's just not mine. So some days I might be like, look, I am tired of the routine, I'm tired of the kids, but that don't mean I'm a bad parent. I feel like it's relatable because we have so many parents that's like out here doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to all the single parents. Shout out to all the single mothers, fathers, or whoever, guardians, whoever. Like, it takes a village to raise a child, let alone more than one. But my thing is, it's not like how it used to be. Like, family is not the same. It's like you don't even know like how family coming nowadays because family is so tricky because one minute they this way and the next. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, as a mental health therapist, I have to pour into myself constantly, because I will get into a bad place too. I'm a therapist, but I go see a therapist. Like, I used to go and see a therapist because I deal with a lot. I'm human, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all human. And I knew, like, when I started to recognize what was wrong with me, that's how I know I was on the road to healing and recovery. A lot of times people don't want to admit, like, hey, I have these issues going on inside of me. When you can admit that you have issues going on, yes, that's how you know that you are on the right track. Okay? So that brings me back to after I had my third child. I'm laughing because I can cry. I will cry. So if y'all see me start tearing up, just know, like, your girl is a crier. But whenever I had my third child, nobody knew this. I wrote a suicide letter to my mom. I was headed to my second job, and I was going 110 miles down the road. I said, I'm going to end it. Like, I had depression out of this world. And a lot of parents and a lot of mothers, they don't speak on it because they are afraid, or may feel like people think they are not a good mother or capable of being a mother. Postpartum depression is real. When I tell you I went through it really bad with my third child and my second child, but not as worse with my third child. And I have a husband, he was there for me. Like, I remember when he was like, babe, like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And it's so important that as educators to our family, we need to educate these men. We need to educate these men, like, what is postpartum depression? Not saying, like, not all men don't know, but it's a lot of men that just don't know. Like, your body go through changes so much to the point you're not the same no more. And I used to tease and, like, laugh and joke about it, but I was like, I never would be able to sleep how I used to sleep 10 years ago when I had my first child. Like, I said, my sleep would never be the same. Like, I can never sleep peacefully because I'm always thinking about my children. Now, am I the only person like this? Or am I the only mother like this? Because I'm just speaking facts. Like, I'm speaking from a mother perspective. I remember, like, jumping out of my sleep constantly to make sure that my kid's still breathing. You know, like, looking at them like, are you still alive? Like, making sure that they're still breathing, because as mothers, we're nurturing. We're automatically a nurture person. We pour into everybody. And that's why I was like, I tell men all the time, you don't know a woman's role. Just like a man, like, as a woman, we don't know men's role. It is hard to say, okay, let's swap for the day, because I guarantee you, if my husband had my job on a daily basis, he probably will go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because as moms, as mothers, we go through a lot. Like, we're doctors, we're teachers, we're like first aid responders, we're like therapists, the maid, we're the chef. We so much in one. And that's why it's so important to stop. Like, take a break. It's okay if the house is not clean 24/7. I had to put that in my own head, because you'll get on Instagram, you'll get on social media, you'll get on TikTok, and you'll be like, dang, that girl house is always spick and span, it's clean. That is unrealistic. Well, I have 4 children, and if my house is clean 24/7, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I want to live in a dirty house. No, I don't play about that. There's a difference between messy house and dirty house. And when I know that my children are playing, they may have toys here and there, clothes there. It's okay. It's okay, moms. It's okay, dads. Because one thing about it, those kids remember the time that we put in versus if the house is clean. If it's clean to the T. Do you get what I'm saying? It is so important to build these kids' character up, for them to be confident in who they are, because I see a lot of things lately, like in the media, where parents either too strict or not at all, and these kids either regret or become, you know, like it's just be a mess. It is so important to not let your child become one of those two. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll end up in life not being able to balance. That's why I had to learn for myself. Like, I had to learn, like, I cannot be screaming and hollering around this house 24/7 when I know I got almost a soon-to-be 2-year-old that's going to spill things, going to drop things. She's not really understanding how to pick up and do things after herself. So that's the main reason, like, as a parent, we have to learn what the Bible also says. It says, do not provoke your child. Because we think just because we're parents, we get to say, you better, and you better, and you better, you know what I'm saying? But when you have that mindset, the kids are not understanding. They're not understanding that. How I do it now, because I used to be that parent. I used to be like, you better clean up right now, and I'm not playing with you. And I give them that eye like, yeah. Yeah, hurry up. But when I really started to understand my role as a parent and as a mother, I am supposed to teach that child. So if I'm screaming and yelling constantly like, do this and do that, I'm not teaching them nothing. I'm demanding them to do things. So now I'll be like, okay, the reason why you have to do X, Y, and Z is because this will happen or that will happen. And they'll be like, oh, okay, so what will happen then, mama? They become engaged. And I know, like, sometimes we don't feel like talking. We don't feel like explaining, but we just have to take the time. Take the time to say, this is what I'm going to do. And enough of the parents. And I really wanted to talk about some of the things that I also went through in my life. Man, I have been through quite a bit. I had low self-confidence about my skin disorder for a very long time. Nobody knew how deep it was. Like, when I used to go into the stores, the skin disease that I have is called vitiligo. So I have white spots, and it will, like, take my melanin away. But when I used to go into stores, I used to, like, always want to hide myself. I didn't want to, like, for nobody to look at me. Like, nobody, like, I was so depressed about it because I got vitiligo at the age of 23. I went a whole normal life, and then boom, a spot on my hand popped up, and I'm like, what is this? And I kind of figured what it was because it got bigger and bigger and bigger. So I was just like, okay, what I really need to do is pray. For one, I need to get in my prayer life. Okay, I am a firm believer of God. Your girl is going to pray. Now, do I slack? Yes, I think everybody slack, and I think that's the thing about me. I'm not a judgmental person. So if somebody be like, hey, you know, I haven't been praying lately. If my friends come to me and be like, I ain't been praying, I ain't been in my Bible, I'm not gonna be like, girl, you need to stop. Like, what's wrong with you? You shouldn't be doing that. No, I'm going to love them and tell them, like, God still loves you. But get in that word, sis. Like, we gonna get in that word. Set a timer, set a day, just set some time alone. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard because I'm that way sometimes. Not all the time I am ready to be in my Bible, you know? But in this day and time, we must stay prepared. We must stay prepared. And another thing, before I end this very first episode, I wanted to talk about, like, the abuse that I encountered. And I know sometimes people, like, make fun of domestic violence. Sometimes people make fun of abuse. And as a mental health therapist and seeing it, like, firsthand through other people, it would tear a person down. That is why I say to always be kind to people. You never know. Like, the reason why I don't speak on people like lives or what they should have done or how they should act is because you don't know the story sometimes behind people. As people, as human, the things that we should be doing is praying for them behind the scenes. Like, you know, God, whatever they're struggling with, whatever they're dealing with, heal them, protect them, guide them. You see what I'm saying? And as a victim of it, it took me a very long time to just really get comfortable with myself. Like, I would really be so hard on the way that I look, the way that I thought. And y'all, I thought all men were dogs. I sure did. I thought all men were evil and they had no good intent. But then I met my husband, and is marriage always easy? No. I tell you that firsthand. Me and my husband, like, we don't have a bunch of arguments, but we do have disagreements. And I'm the type of person that is still learning the role of a wife, because a lot of times we don't want to do that role. We want to be the top caller, shop caller, whatever you want to say. But no, seriously, it is important for a wife to know her role, just as important for a husband to know his role. But we'll get into that on another episode, okay? But before I do end, I want y'all to subscribe, go like the video, make sure y'all tune in all the time. I won't say every week I'm gonna drop a video, but I'm going to drop as often as I can. We're also gonna have guests, and we're gonna have people on here. So if y'all interested or have any questions, leave some in the comments below. This is a little bit about my life. If y'all have questions, let me know. But this is Talk to Me Nice podcast. Mental health is the topic. And so if y'all want to join our podcast, also leave your name and let me know so we can link up and talk more about mental health. But anyways, this is the end of episode 1. And I will see y'all on the next episode. So y'all stay tuned. Bye.